All right, so today is actually Friday at the end of week one, and I decided rather than to wait until Tuesday to submit attendance for week two, that I would go ahead and submit that now. And just to give you a heads up on some of the things coming at you that are due on our next due date, and just make sure you understand the really big benefit of working ahead in our class. So I graded the item last night, or this morning that was due last night, which was the week one classwork. And for the most part, you all, as you know, as a general overall, seem to get what I was requiring here. A couple of you forgot to include the link that I asked for with the shared with Rio. Some of you didn't actually submit it correctly. Some of you didn't give enough notes. So here's what I want you to know. You might look at my comments and think, well, listen, I'll just go update that thing I didn't do. So here's what you need to understand. Now that that item has been graded, it is now, if you submit it again for me to grade again, is late. So the nice thing about submitting work ahead of the due date, like if you want me to grade something before it's due, make sure you turn it in 24 hours before it's due. And then that gives me a day, a weekday, right, to actually grade the work, so that if you have something you missed, I can give you the feedback and you can act on that feedback. But if you've waited, which is totally your choice, until the night or the afternoon something's due, chances of you getting my feedback are still true. You're going to get it in forms of your grade, which, by the way, if you check in your grade, you will see that there is a comment in there, so make sure you check that out. The difference is when you've waited at the due date, then you're not really going to benefit from modifying the work unless you completely missed it. But let's say you got 85%. At this point, if you were wanting to resubmit and fix that, that item is late. Now, hopefully you understand from doing week one classwork, there is a way to get those late points back. But I'm not going to review that or revisit that at this time. That's something you can do. Okay, so now having said that, our next item, the Hello World, that is going to be due Tuesday night because Monday is Martin Luther King Day, which I hope everyone takes some time to reflect on the importance of Martin Luther King in our world. Even though he's not here, his impact is here. But what I would say too on this Hello World item is that if you want it graded before it's due, then make sure you complete all the work. Like I went through there and looked, and a couple of folks had done their photo, done a reply talking about themselves, but hadn't done the two required replies to your fellow students. And because those replies weren't done, I'm not going to grade it because I'm not going to try to figure out how many points it's worth. At this point, I want to grade complete work. I want to grade completed work. Hopefully you got that. So there is a huge benefit to working ahead. Do it whenever you can so that if you miss something, you can correct it. But the most important thing is just to get the work done, one way or the other. The other thing, you are going to be seeing emails, not just from me time to time, but you're going to see them from our ETC leader. So I don't have a picture here, but I will get a picture of Jason. He's our ETC leader, and he is the extended classroom leader for this course, and really important because he will be able to offer even more support for you to pass this class. Now, having said that as well, one of the great things I noticed today that there's 85 people on our class chat, and that is wonderful. So class chat is a wonderful way to get help. Being on there, you can ask questions, and if I'm not around, generally somebody else will attempt to answer those questions. Okay? All right, so you have coming up this week a really important assignment, understanding how to do print screens, your next classwork, and then today what I'm going to do is go ahead and release week 3 work, which is here as well. So that would give us another, for those of you working ahead, because some of you are actually working on this week 2 items, this week here. So that's wonderful. But also keep in mind that these are the items where you're going to need the required materials for the first time. Okay? So make sure you get that set up. Just reviewing again that in the syllabus, for each section, right down here, there is then a link to walk you through how to set that up. And it is really important that you get this, you get in the right section and you get this set up correctly. There is a trial period you can do for that. But right here, this is the date that you need to get it by this date or you won't be able to purchase it. But hopefully this is like, I've heard this, I understand this, Rio, good to go. Okay? All right, so the last thing I'm going to say is that, at this point, because attendance for online students is due at noon on the Friday of that week. So the video is still here, but you can no longer reply to that to show that you were present. And so that's an important function of, especially for these first couple weeks. So you can watch the video, but you can no longer reply showing that you were here because in my schedule, at this point, you were absent in week 1. Now, if you actually also didn't do week 1 classwork, you probably got a message from me today. Okay? So this will be in your week 2 attendance right here. This is when I make it available in a little bit, and then I will just review quickly, make sure everything's in line, but go ahead and release week 3 as well. All right, I hope you have a wonderful 3-day weekend, and make sure if you need help, you're checking in with the chat or you're emailing me. Weekends I'm typically not as responsive as I am during the week, but if I'm available, I will respond if something that I just need, you're asking me that I can easily do that. But it's always good, if you need to, is to come see me during the class period. So my class, I only have one face-to-face class, and that is on Tuesday and Thursday at 11 p.m. in BE 127. Okay? And by the way, where you would find my schedule is if you clicked on syllabus and you clicked on my calendar. This is good for me to verify. You can see actually when my class is, when my office hours are. Okay? All right. Have a good 3 weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.